Good day, everyone. How you doing? This is MJ with my lovely partner, Angie.
Oh, thought you had to think
Well,
about that a minute.
well,
Okay.
I don't know if I did.
Hi.
So, so if you've been listening to the Power Couple podcast, we have been going over things like core exercises. We've been doing some different push ups type exercise, some different shoulder exercises. We did neck stretches. So we've gotten this thing built up now. But because, we're doing this during the summer and it is hot as blazes out there, we thought we'd go take a dip. And we're going to take a dip in the water. And if you don't have a pool or anywhere near you, there's going to be an aquatic center for you and for seniors. There probably maybe be some water aquatics classes, and we'll talk about that as well. So, your thoughts? You got in the pool today?
Oh, yes, yes, yes. Indoor pool, but Aquarius by nature, so I am a water barrier. I love being around water. Not the world's greatest swimmer, but the water has such a healing effect that it always draws me in. What I like about water and body movement is that it is so soothing and gentle on the joints.
Hmm.
Um, you get a total workout because believe me, just trying to do some laps or doing leg exercises within the water, you have that wonderful flow, a gentle resistance. But you're also y- your cardiac is going too because as you're moving your arms, legs, you just try to get a whole body workout. You definitely can feel it in your lungs, which is great to get that oxygen flowing to all the cells, and then with your heart building up the strength.
So,
Oh, yeah.
and the body is buoyant in the water, so that's the reason why it's easier on your joints. It's
Yeah,
easy.
don't believe that stereotype that if you're African American or the Black persuasion, you can't float. That's not true.
Oh,
It's more like we've heard that. So it's more of a the density within the bones and muscles and stuff like that. But yeah.
so if you're just getting starting on going back into exercise or anything, and you've seen our things about stretches and our videos about all the other things that we've done, getting in, if you're thinking, well, you know what, I really can't do it, really hurts and things, get in the water because that will actually, you'll be able to do things. And this gets things moving again. You're going to get your muscles going. You're not gonna sweat, but what you and if you're trying to lose weight, the water thing, unless you're doing laps in the pool, you're really not going to lose weight. This is more or less to get your hips going again, get that feeling going again of how you can kick legs, start strengthening that core so that way you can balance better and walk better, get a better stride on your walk, correct?
Right. It's toning and it is building muscle. You look at
Mhm.
all the great swimmers, they're fine specimens that they don't have all that extra body fat. They're very lean. So it is toning in a way. Don't get me wrong, they're in there for hours training and all that stuff. But because it is an all-round exercise, you can lose weight with it too.
Yeah, we don't want you to be
So
Michael Phelps or Katie Ledecky yet. So, we'll
yeah,
get there.
all that muscle and all that. But yeah, definitely. It just again is wonderful with the whole body strengthening, toning, again, your cardiac, your lungs. Oh, it's a great workout for your lungs. And even if you're doing a doggy paddle, then them arms and them legs, they're kicking, they're moving, so that is extremely beneficial. So,
And this you wanna explain more about the joints because this really does not affect the joints. It'll actually improve your joint structure because it really doesn't have a big impact on.
well, right, because the whole thing with the joints, that's more of a gravity thing.
Mhm.
So with the muscles, the bones, ligaments all tied together, it's like you're in the water. So the water, instead of the earth's pull upon your body, the water's kind of balancing you out, giving you that nice resistance, that gentle, um, release of the pressure from the gravity's pull.
Mm.
So when you're moving the muscles and you're doing all this wonderful,
I
we'll
like
say
that.
gliding along the water,
Yeah.
again, you're having this full movement, because any movement is good movement, but it's not the impact that you have, like, say, if you were jogging and your feet are hitting that pavement and you're feeling it in all types of stabiliz body stabilizing and all that stuff. You don't have that. So, yeah, it's much, much gentler on the body. And, so yeah, it's
I think this is where we should interject our disclaimer, just so you all know. I am MJ. I'm the National Academy of Sports Medicine accredited personal trainer, corrective exercise specialist, and nutrition coach. Angie is a certified nurse of
a certified nurse. Okay,
no
next
certified
time,
nurse.
yeah,
I'm sorry,
let me speak my piece.
licensed.
Okay, all right. Yes, I've been in the nursing profession for over 40 years. I am a certified health and wellness coach. I specialize in aromatherapy and hypnotherapy. So I'm more of the, what do they say? It's not really holistic, even though it is holistic because it includes the body, mind, spirit, everything. So more of an alternative, even though I am a registered nurse. So it's, you dabble in the scientific world, but then you also have healing therapies that we try to focus on.
And also, we want you to do everything in moderation, to be slow, to get things moving. And our goal is for seniors and people over 50 to get moving again. You may have done it in your 20s and you haven't done it in a while. And we're telling you to get off the couch, get away from TV, get away from everything, and get out there and move a little bit. And
Right. MJ speaks about people 50 and over. Yes, that's our target audience. But again, the little tidbits we share is really meant for anybody. You have women who are pregnant and they're trying to get back into the groove, or some people who never exercised before, or those people with
mm,
disabilities and limitations that they're not able to do anything and they're in their 20s, 30s, 40s.
right.
So again, it's just your mindset and we're trying to reach out to people who are not gym rats, sorry, but who just, you know what? Let me try to get out there and do some sort of movement, but I'm not sure where to begin. So we're kind of more safe for beginners, if that makes sense. Michael, of course, has been exercising for years and years. And again, I'm more of a team competitive type person. I don't exercise really by myself, even though I'm starting to get into it because I do a little bit of tai chi. But again, this guy lives in the gym, he likes that, that's his way of life, but we're not saying that's what you need to do because
Right.
I'm definitely not about that lifestyle, but I am about movement, and that I do. I walk, again, I loves to swim, so I'm just movement is what is gonna keep you functioning to your best of your abilities.
So yes, I used to be a big time swimmer myself all the time when I was in 20s and 30s and even teens, of course. And
You're
oh,
Floridian right now, okay? You've
yeah,
been here since teen, so I'm assuming you kinda gotta be that way. Just like, don't get me wrong, from New York, Staten Island, I was surrounded by water too. I didn't have the luxury of having the beach available to me, all year round because we have snow.
right.
But, yes, I'm hoping everybody lives in Florida. Hopefully, you guys will be out there in that wonderful water. That's what I love about Florida.
Well, one of the things with Florida is there's two things you have to know how to do. One, you need to know how to drive because you have to have a car in Florida. You
True,
don't have
true.
the transportation outlets. And
Yeah,
Florida is a massive state. People don't realize how big it is, but
yeah.
you have to drive everywhere.
True.
Second, and more importantly, is that you need to know how to swim in Florida. I mean, you say, well, I don't go in the ocean. I don't go in the pool. There are lakes, there are rivers,
Oh,
there are
yeah, they're
all
beautiful
water is
streams.
everywhere
Oh,
here.
yeah,
So
it's true, it is true. And run, you gotta run from them alligators, so yeah,
so never had an I came close. So
yeah.
when I had my jet ski with an alligator encounter, but beside the point. Anyway, let's get back to the water aquatics classes. If you are a senior, and you're looking to get into a water aquatics class of your own and you're thinking, I don't have a pool or anything, you're probably with Silver Sneakers. Check with silversneakers.com. You can go there to find information on water classes, water aquatic classes, but we do encourage that. And there are plenty of places. The
Oh
YMCA's and
gosh,
locally
yeah.
usually has a
Oh, yeah, and
pool.
that's all
We go
over.
to a regular gym here in Florida and they have a pool.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, yeah.
so
And
we
the 55 plus communities, they usually have a pool
right.
too.
So
Wow,
so if
yeah.
you're in, Ohio or Minnesota or any of those places, probably would have an indoor pool
Oh,
somewhere,
yeah.
and you could probably take some classes, and they may have a water aquatics classes for you. So get going
Oh, yeah.
on that. So let's get into it. One of the things for the hips that we have done is Angie has volunteered to do the water kicks in the pool today.
Woo-hoo.
We have
Oh, yeah.
we have done that.
A break this week.
So this is a hip type exercise. You're gonna get the hip flexors going. And to ask for you to do the hip flexors without water is maybe a little tough for you. I was like, I haven't done that in a long time. Get in the water, you'll find out how easy the standing by the edge of the pool and just bringing your body up, right?
Yeah.
And just kicking a little bit. Just get that flow of that kicking. You're thinking, "Well, that is really easy." Keep doing it. Do it for, a couple minutes, stop, and then do it again, and then, by that time, you're gonna start feeling some things in your hips and such. You'll get out and, it's not something again, you're not gonna do it the first time and go, "Oh, what a wonder drug. I've been able to walk now and I can dance," and no, you'll have to do it for a little while, a couple, 3 weeks, but if you get in the pool 2, 3 times a week.
Right, 'cause the issue with the hips, okay, if they get stiff, then now it's like, 'cause it controls your pelvis, you got your gluteus max, gluteus, minimus, right?
Yeah.
So, if you have your pelvis area right where your largest bone in your body is the femur, so your thigh bone comes up to that area, and then the hip, and then it goes into your lower back. So, with all of that being said, those muscles, that area right there has to be at its finest. Once it starts to weaken, then the process of just lifting your legs when you're climbing the stairs becomes hard. Okay. So again, with the hips are involved in that whole movement because it is the pelvis to the side where your hips are and then in your back. It's all that same rotation, that same movement. You need all those large muscles to work together for the normal things of, I want to go up the steps, so I have to lift my leg up. So when I was in the pool, I was laying on my back and I'm doing, it's almost felt like a reverse doggy pedal or something, or
Yeah.
a backwards riding a bike,
Right.
because I was lifting my legs up out of the water, bending my knees. So that's that whole movement that's getting the exercise that I need, because again, just regular walking is not helping with the abduction and the flexion of the legs because we're walking, stepping one foot in front of the other. Whereas in the other videos you'll see, I am doing an abduction and an adduction, so away from my body, then adding my leg to my body, which is a movement that we really don't do every day.
Right.
Okay, so that helps with that because we need it to be able to function properly. You want to be able to lift your knee to your chest, to raise your legs up.
So if we get to the technical world of that outside of the hips right there, it's called the tensor fasciae latae and TFL. That's what it is for short. And that's that outside of that hips. And you can do one of the other things we did planks earlier. You can do side planks. That kind of helps that tensor fasciae latae. But that's going back again to the core
Well, and also
exercises.
the lunges too.
Right.
You know, so that's also, again, you lunge forward, you step in it, and that's something that helps that whole area. Now, you have a problem besides, again, I'm a nurse, we're adults here. A woman, as you give childbirth, you're going to spread eagle. That's why they say, oh, let's do the frog jump as you're a child. The frog position, and if you're into yoga, is good because your hips are opening up. And again, as we get older, that we're not doing all those fun things, they start to close in. So, woman during childbirth, the legs are open. As you're having intimacy and you're straddling someone, the legs are open. But as we get older, they start to close up. So, we're trying to keep that flexibility. So, you have a weak hip muscles and area when if you're sitting for a prolonged time, and it could also be sciatica, because that's another
Yeah.
thing. All right, large muscle, and it runs up to the quadriceps. So you do have
Mhm.
that nerve, and then of course at our age, as a nurse. Now we train my students. Do not give IM medications in that area because a lot of us feel that trauma of getting our vaccines and it was hitting the sciatic nerve, and now we're damaged for life.
Mhm.
But now back to the issue. So some people limp, and that's could also be from the weak hip muscle. Again, that pain in your pelvic area. Again, because it's all related, pelvic, hip, and lower back. Or now if you're just saying, all right, I'm sitting prolonged, I'm driving my car, it's painful, I can't lift my legs up the steps the way I want to. And usually it's more pronounced on one side. It's usually not a bilateral thing. So that will lead to you favoring that side. So then you start limping. Now, don't get that confused with now. Again, the body's imperfect in all its beauty. So some sides of the body is a little bit uneven. Your right leg may be a little bit longer than your left leg and stuff like that. I'm talking about a more pronounced limp. And again, that's usually the muscle, the hip is now weakened. Okay. So that's what I'm trying to getting at, kind of also from a nursing perspective.
That's okay. No, we need the
Yeah.
nursing perspective. That's doing laps. It's just simply going from one end of the pool to the other end of the pool, doing your old swimming from, second grade or third grade or when you were a kid, whatever. When you did it in the lake, you didn't have the walls and laps and stuff. Now you have a wall if you have a pool in the area where you live. So this is just going back, and this is really now we're going to start working. This is also a core exercise. You're using your arms, you're doing the kicking, you're using everything. This is a very good core exercise without the joint problems, right?
Okay. Yeah, that is true. I really have anything else on that matter. Again, because swimming, it's all round. It's just from the breathing to your heart muscles, to your arms, to your legs. And even, again, I'm not the world's best swimmer, but if you do the point where you have your face in the water and then you gently lift an edge, take a breath, and then you back in, it's even then good for your neck, your shoulders, and all that other good stuff. So it's a total from the top of your head down to your feet as your little feet are paddling along. It's wonderful. It's wonderful. And gentle on the joints. I can't stress that enough. But I got long arms, so I try to get my arms out there and stretch them. I mean, I don't have a perfect form, but I know my little legs are moving. And that's exactly what I need. So,
Of course, and this is the biggest benefit because we're in the summer. You're not in the heat, you're in the water, and you're feeling good.
yeah. Oh, yeah. That's always a
so,
plus.
so the other one that we're going to talk about too is that Angie also volunteered for this too, is the hip abductor and adductor. And that's just a standing exercise. We're out of the water now. We're dried off. We're toweled off. We're dressed, and we're back to back either in the gym or at home. And you can hold on to a chair, a wall,
Oh,
anything
yeah.
like that. And you're just moving your leg out. That's the abduction, and then you're moving it back in. That's the adduction. In other words, you're adducting it back into
And at
the
least
plane of the
8 to
body.
t raise it and don't stress. I held on to the chair. My balance for some reason was a little off, but if you don't need to and you could just put your hands on your hips and do that movement and even lift your legs higher than what I did, but it's at your own pace. It's with modified technique. So you can hold the chair or you can put your hands on your hip or your hands even straight in front of you. The
Yeah.
object is maintain balance. And I think if you keep your feet kind of close, you don't want to do that wide base of support because then it's going to be hard to lift the legs. So you kind of keep your feet of course, your toes facing forward. You try to stay as straight, keep that spine, that posture straight as you're lifting that leg out as much as you can. Again, don't feel like you gotta reach to the sky or side or just as much as you can. The object is to use those muscles in that thigh area and get it up and then slowly bring it back and then do it. We said at least 8 to 12 times,
Right.
right? And then shift your weights and then go to the opposite leg. Now, you'll notice which leg is the one that's a little bit more tight or giving you the problem because that extension is not going to be equal to the other one you have. Or as you're shifting the weight and you're putting most of the weight on one leg, then the leg that has the weakness might be like, okay, not really steady. Make sure you hold on to that chair.
Yeah.
Okay.
And what we've been doing core exercises to help with balance. We've been doing the swimming to help with balance. So right now, when you're starting out, hold on to something. Grab a wall, grab a pole, grab the chair, whatever you got to do to do that. That would be the
Also, the crane movement, all right? Just practice. The crane has that one leg up.
mm,
See if you can stand a couple of seconds on one leg. Okay. Start off with a chair if you can. If you could do it without and the hands, yeah, try that. Okay. Just always be careful. And another disclaimer, make sure you get the clearance from your doctor if we're talking about cardiac working and getting out in the pool and stuff like that. Make sure you have that clearance. Okay. We want you to be safe. We want you to participate, but in a safe manner.
again, that's the raising your leg up. That's what a personal trainer will do is one of the could be one of the assessment moves that they do, that they look for the balance issues with people. And we actually had a lady at our gym that she does have balance issues, and so it's one of the things that one of the other trainers is working on with her on getting her core taken care of so that she can. And she is a card. She is a hilarious lady that I wanna make sure she does well because she's terrific.
All right. So also, again, why I love the practice of Tai Chi because that is all about balance, and the balance is in your core. Okay, the chi is the center by your belly button, so that energy, but it's that power, the gentle movements, which is also great on your joints. Just the slow movement, of course, incorporates the breathing, but it's the holding the leg up and then gently placing it down. So things like that. And if you like, comment. And if you want to see me do some simple, basic Tai Chi moves, I have no problem with that.
Yeah,
All right. What
and
else
and
you
and
got, MJ?
that actually leads us into the fact that we're
I want to jump back real quick. We mentioned last week about MJ was saying about the weight belt that they don't deal with, weightlifting belt. I'm going to tell you, as a nurse, those are different types of material. Again, so I'm going to stick by my story to say if you still need that abdominal support, it's a stretchy material. They're called binders more than weight belts. Okay. So if you need that support, it's also to get you to say, well, if I have a weakness, a hernia or something like this, and I'm bending a lot, this is going to help give you support to that area. It's not really strengthening it. And I think that's the difference between if you're getting in a gym and you're deadlifting all these weights and you're struggling at all. Yeah, I think that weight belt is helping you keep your posture too, right? Your back up and stuff.
yes, and that
That's not what I'm talking
right,
about.
I
The
know.
binders,
Yeah,
that's stretchy material. Again, it's just almost like a woman's girdle.
mhm,
So
and
yes, I
and
just wanted
that's
to
the
clarify that.
difference. That's
Yes,
the
yes,
difference right
yes,
there between what we were talking about. She's
yes,
talking about something that is more medical and health.
yes,
I'm talking about
definitely.
those big, thick
Oh
weight
yeah.
belts that were made out of, about that big of Naugahyde,
Right, right. That
put
right,
these
if you go
things
back in the
on and
day, Arnold
yeah,
Schwarzenegger and,
yeah,
what was that movie he was in when he
pumping
first came
iron.
out? Pumping Iron, all those guys had those belts and
Yeah.
Yeah, no, definitely not that. No, this
Yeah.
is again, I think they also came back too because some of them are rubber material and now they're telling you to sweat some of the fat out of that area. So you'll have women putting on that tight, like apparatus, it was really binding your abdomen and to wither away your waist and stuff. I don't know. I'm not talking about that. More of a support and again to help bind the area. So yes.
So again, goldpowercouple.com. Also, keep in mind if you're seeing as you're looking for a water or aquatics class, we mentioned earlier, go to silversneakers.com. They should have a list of what you can find water aerobics or water aquatics wise, or just check with your community because your community could have a YMCA in the area and they have water aerobics or water aquatics classes and say, "Look, I'm interested in it because I saw MJ and Angie on the Golden Power Couple, and they said, 'Yes, that's what you should do, and I wanna get back into it, and I wanna get in the water, and it's 750 degrees outside, so I just wanna get in the water.'" So that's it. Do you have anything else?
No, just wish everyone well. The summer is upon us. Be safe out there. I know the weather through every state is a lot. So keep the peace within your heart because if you feel peace within your heart, body, soul, your body will respond in positive ways. Okay. Stay healthy, stay happy.
We will see you, everyone, and thanks for watching, thanks for listening. We're on Apple, Spotify Apple Voice only, but Spotify and YouTube, so you can find us on any one of those 3 platforms, and we'll be happy to help you out, and, we see you later.
All right. Be well. Bye bye. Till next time.